Hello, glorious souls. Kel here with your Soul Service Astrology update for the week commencing the 20th of June, 2022. If we haven't met, welcome. I'm Kel. I'm a 13 sign sidereal astrologer. That means that when I refer to the planets, they will be as you can perceive them in the night sky yourself. So if you have an astronomy app, you'll be able to see where the planets are that I'm referring them to. And I believe that's how we should be referring to the energy of the planets, looking at the sky and then working with the energy of the planets of what we can perceive. In this modern technological age, we're allowed to start doing that because, of course, things evolve, just like all our understanding of everything is a continual expansion and evolution. If you would like to receive these updates, please subscribe. You'll be notified on your YouTube that you can receive that they're being posted. Or if you don't want to miss a beat, subscribe. And you can go to my website, kellygunter.com, to subscribe to make sure that you get these updates. I have a new program that has launched. It is 9 weeks. It is dipping your toe in to starting to learn 13 sign sidereal astrology for yourself using your birth chart. So you will also gain an immense understanding of your strengths, your weaknesses, your purpose, your mission, your vision, your message, all those sorts of things. So we use your birth chart for you over the 9 weeks while you also learn basics of 13 sign sidereal astrology, of course, with a bit of a soul service lens. And you would learn about that in the course. That's called Illuminate to Initiate, and that's open now. And you can find out more details on that at my website. So without further ado, let's take a look at what's going on in the skies for the week of the 20th of June. So first up, we have a minor triangle with the apex at Neptune. This minor triangle is formed between Pluto, Venus. Let me just double check. It is definitely Venus and Neptune. The energy of a minor triangle is quite lovely because what it's doing is it's fusing disparate energies. Disparate? Different energies. We've got the destroyer here in a fire sign, Sagittarius. We have Venus here over in an earth sign, Taurus, and we have Neptune at the apex. And the apex is sort of the main point. It's bringing and holding everything together. Neptune in Pisces. So these minor triangles, they're really there to teach us something, or perhaps we are the teacher. So we can either be the student or the teacher with a minor triangle. And I feel like this minor triangle with the apex at some of the planets that have been in Pisces. So we've been seeing quite a few minor triangles over the last few months or so, and most of them have had apexes in Pisces. So what that suggests is there's an opportunity for you to dive deeper into your mystical intelligence and to become the mystic, and become the mystic in the mundane. You know, it's daily mundane magic. And I know the word mundane has connotations of, it's boring, but kind of what's the point of being spiritual or a mystic or really believing the things that you believe in astrology if you can't incorporate it into your day-to-day? Once we start to incorporate all elements of ourselves within our day-to-day, we will find greater levels of freedom, joy, creativity, imagination, accessing our intuition all the time, feeling into our emotions and knowing what we need and what we don't every given moment. So this minor triangle suggests, is there beliefs that you need to destroy, that you can't bring your magic, your mystic into the mundane daily life and make it magical? And is there some things that you need to tend to in your soil? Are there some things that you might need to regenerate so that you can bring it into your body and into the physical realm, into the physical life? So that's what I feel like this minor triangle is about. It's quite exciting. And perhaps you can, if none of that made any sense to you, that's totally fine. Just get excited about magic in the mundane and feel into what that might mean to you. How could you make your daily life magical? didn't expect that that's what was going to come out, but I think that that's a beautiful interpretation for that minor triangle. And it's still there on Tuesday, obviously. So on Tuesday, the 21st of June, we have the winter and the summer solstice. First of all, what does that mean? What does that physically mean for us in the solar system? So the Earth is on an approximate 23.5-degree tilt. And what that means is that the northern part of our planet is tilted the closest to the sun, which is why it's summer there, because the top part, if the sun's here and the top part of the planet is closest to the sun, well, they're going to be receiving more heat than the southern part. And you can probably see what clothes I'm wearing at the moment. I'm in the southern part. It's really cold here at the moment. So that's the summer or the winter solstice. What I would encourage you to do, if you can set aside some time, and this is a process of bringing the magic into the mundane, is to reflect on the last 13 weeks. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, what has rotted, what has decayed? And perhaps if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, what has grown for you? Now, you might feel like you're both aspects. So look at both. Perhaps doesn't matter where you live, perhaps you've had both at that particular point in time, because of course, if we view our life from the lens of the law of interconnectedness, we are both. So you can be both rotting and growing at the same time. So that's something really great to do on the eclipse, not on the eclipse, on the solstice. And then beyond that, you might like to start to think about your intention towards what you'd like to either regenerate or consolidate, or both. Now, we're sort of coming towards the end of Taurus season with this week that we're looking at now. So we're still holding ourselves in the soil. And what have we decomposed? What component parts are in our soil? What's really important to our soil? What do we really need there to feel nurtured and nourished? You might still be looking at that and seeing, okay, well, what parts of my soil need some regeneration, but what parts of my soil need some consolidation? And that's really what you're going to be taking into the next 13 weeks. So you can use this as an opportunity to plan, have a look at your soil. What are the most important aspects to your life, your values, your family, your friends? Perhaps it's your career or your job or your business. Family, I said family, what responsibilities you have, what things you need to be incoming into the soil on a regular basis, money, connections, love, creativity, having a home, having food. So all this is really, we all come from the soil and we all return to the soil, and we have a soil, a metaphysical soil, as well as a tangible and physical soil that supports our survival. So that's kind of what you can be looking at in relation to this solstice energy. And on the same day, Gemini, the sun moves, I was going to say Gemini moves into the sun moves into Gemini. I found that really interesting, that on the same day that we have the solstice, the sun could be observed closest to the stars in Gemini. So this suggests like a fresh air, fresh energy. Gemini to me sort of is really, it's a transference of information. It's a transference of energy. It's a vitality. It's a snap and a crackle. It's information, it's learning, it's teaching, it's shifting. And it's definitely momentum and movement. And after the season that we've just had, where we've examined our soil, with the sun entering Gemini, and we're going to start to move into the Gemini season from the next new moon, because the next new moon on the 29th of June will be in Gemini, we'll start to look at what information is coming into the soil, what information is coming into the mind. And at this point in time, with the Taurus energy still there, what information is beneficial for your energetic vitality at the moment, and your creativity and your imagination and your mystical intelligence? What information is not beneficial, and you might need to make some uncomfortable or hard decisions there about stopping yourself from absorbing, because we are living in the age of ubiquitous information and we love it. Our mind loves it. However, our attention span has decreased. And for us to really create what it is that our soul and our heart really longs to create, there's going to be pieces of information that we don't need to expose ourselves to. So I would encourage you to look at that, start looking at that, and I'll be talking more about it from the new moon, which is happening next month. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, we move into quarter moon energy. And so that's really student energy. Is it the last quarter moon? No, last quarter moon is not student energy. That's really sort of, it's a little bit shadow hunter energy. So we're heading towards the new moon. So you might be looking at what I suggested, this examination of beliefs that you no longer wish to have, either in your emotional intelligence or perhaps your intuitive intelligence. 23rd. Again, we're still in last quarter moon energy. 24th, last quarter moon energy. There was another aspect that I would like to talk to you about. Where does that come up? No, it doesn't come up this week. It comes up next week. All right. Then over the weekend, we come into, I'm just double checking that I haven't missed anything. I haven't, which is good. No, those other aspects are for next week. All right, so as we come into the weekend, let me backtrack a bit. So we're moving towards the new moon over this coming week. We've got a lot of last quarter energy. And as I mentioned, that sort of shadow hunting, the shadow hunter type energy prior to it becoming the balsamic moon. So you really want to go in and check in with your emotional intelligence. What's there? What is it informing me? Because our emotions and our nervous system can tell us what might not be in alignment. And then we have this phase, this 3 to 4 days before the new moon, called the balsamic moon. And I link this to the archetype of the mystic. I think it's really a great time, once you've looked at your shadows and the shadows have sort of said, hello, I need to be dealt with here, you can then go into your mystic's cave. So yes, at the beginning of the week, I said, how can you bring the mystic into the mundane? Well, the mystic still also needs to have a cave. It still needs to have a process where you can remove yourself from all the interference of the external world and really go inward and sit with these perhaps emotions or particular shifts in your nervous system that may need to be undone. And you can do that during the balsamic moon. So the weekend, of course, is a great time to have a rest, to rejuvenate, I would, of course, always suggest to meditate, but also get into nature, because nature really heals us. Once we step into nature, it's been demonstrated through multiple studies that our heart rate variance can become more even, so it drops. And that it tells our body to calm down. That's the heart telling the mind, I'm safe. We can calm down now. So if you can take yourself into nature, perhaps if you can't do that, meditating can also help you lower your heart rate variance. And so that then tells the body that I'm relaxed, I calm down, I'm safe. Again, breathing practices will do the same thing. So if you feel a shift in your nervous system, if you feel a shift in your emotional intelligence, I'm certainly hoping I'm not recording the drilling that is happening in my house at the moment, that's just commenced. The weekend is a really great time for you to do that. Now it's the end, this last weekend is the last weekend before the new moon. So look at your soil. What's in it? Are you excited about it? Are there still pieces in there that you're not sure about? You know, maybe you want to craft something that represents your soil. maybe you want to write it down so that you can come back to it regularly. Perhaps you just want to go and sit on some soil, so it's a great weekend to kind of not do anything new, but really, like after I suggested after the solstice, just kind of regenerate it a bit and consolidate and really allow those energies that you're feeling to express themselves. So that's it for this week. I certainly hope that you can find some rest and respite over the weekend, and I certainly hope this download of celestial energies has been supportive for you. I always love comments, so please comment below and I will generally always reply. And also don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye.